Hi crafty friends, I'm Lean from Studio Kato and I'm so glad you're joining me again today. It's Halloween, so of course I am sharing another Halloween card, and I'm not sure actually if this is my last Halloween card for this year. I really enjoy making them, so I might just continue on past the holiday. Now I'm starting out where I usually end my videos. I am assembling most of the card already. So I am starting out by gluing some patterned paper, just a very subtle spider web pattern onto my card base. I die cut this patterned paper piece with a rectangle die that just leaves a stitched detail edge around it. I really like that stitched detail to give a little subtle interest to your card. And on top of that, I am gluing a white panel with a dry embossed heart outline on it. I dry emboss this heart with a nesting die by Hero Arts. You can dry emboss with any dies with your die cutting machine. Just look at the manual for your machine on how to do it. And that's just some white cardstock propped up on some cardboard actually. I really like cardboard to prop up my panels because it's sturdy, but it's lighter than if you would achieve the same height or the same thickness with layered cardstock panels. And now I am cheating a little bit for this card because I had all of these tiny images already colored and cut out. These are little candies by Streamside Studios. They come from the Candy Witch stamp set. I'm not sure. It's a digital stamp set. I will leave it linked down below. And I printed those out onto Clairefontaine DCP 250 GSM cardstock and colored them in with my alcohol markers. I used the Decotime twin brush markers. They're not the highest quality, but they work fine for me. And now I'm just propping them up onto foam squares or tiny slivers of foam squares even, and filling out this little heart with all of the tiny candies. And this is a great way to get more out of your small images. You can stamp them, you don't have to prop them all up separately. You can stamp them directly onto your cardstock and do it into a shape. A heart works fine, or just a circle will be fun as well. If you use flowers or something like that, that would be fun. But just arrange all of your little images into a shape and that will make a really fun card design. Now the only element left to create for this card is a sentiment. And I made a sentiment strip using a sentiment from the Halloween Sentiments stamp set by Reverse Confetti. And how many times can I say sentiment in one sentence? And I stamped that in Versamark ink onto black cardstock and embossed it with Wow Bright White Superfine embossing powder. I popped a couple of foam squares behind it, just rubbing away some stray embossing powder that got onto my sentiment. And then I can prop this up onto my card. And these foam squares are the same thickness as the ones behind the candies, so it will all be nice and level. For a matching envelope, I used some soft gray cardstock that would match nicely with the soft gray patterned paper. And I am just folding an A2 sized envelope with my We Are Memory Keepers 123 punch board. I'm reinforcing all the score lines with my bone folder, and then I will add some glue to the bottom panel, or the bottom flap rather, and glue that one shut, and that will assemble my envelope. And on the front of it, I will add a little hint of my card design, and I am choosing to add a spider web. I couldn't make this out of the same pattern paper, but I do have a spider web with a spider from Reverse Confetti that would match this nicely. So I stamped that on there with some brown ink, just some brown dye ink from Pinkfresh Studio. I will leave the name listed in the description list below. And that's it. A fun Halloween card, but you don't have to send it for Halloween. It can be sent any time of year if you just want to send a sweet card out. I really like how this card turned out. I love all the dimension behind those sweets, but if you don't want to spend ages propping all of these images up or cutting them all out, you can just stamp them directly on the cardstock and maybe add some shading with a Copic marker, and that will create a similar effect as well. Making this card and envelope took me about half an hour, but I did color and cut those sweets out beforehand. I still have some sweets left over, probably enough for another card like this, but I spent about an hour coloring those as well. I hope you liked this card and video. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up on this video and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.